Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomansing. Top in this newscast, two co-conspirators in the alleged drug trafficking case with DPNR'S Chief of Enforcement, Roberto Tapia, appeared in court Wednesday for their preliminary and detention hearing. Both Steven Torres and Eddie Lopez are facing one count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. News 2's Erica Bivens brings us more.
Both Steven Torres and Eddie Lopez entered Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller's courtroom today in red BOC jumpsuits and handcuffs as family members who traveled from Puerto Rico wiped away tears. The two are accused of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine in connection to the alleged drug trafficking case involving DPNR'S Chief of Enforcement, Roberto Tapia. During the preliminary hearing, FBI agent Jackson Perkey was again called to the stand to review details from his affidavit. Today, the defense attorney, Daniel Luis Ceballos, for Lopez, said there was no evidence linking his client to Tapia, therefore not establishing probable cause. Ceballos also discovered agents who conducted the surveillance did not have eyes on Tapia for about 5 hours after he met the two individuals near Sail Rock to when he boarded the 7 p.m. ferry for St. John. They also had no surveillance on Tapia while he was on St. John for about 30 minutes before returning on the 8 p.m. ferry. Joseph DeRuzo, representing Torres, also discovered agents suspected Tapia's backpack contained money, but they didn't know for certain. But prosecution by Kelly Lake argued agents had information the same two individuals who met Tapia Friday were the same ones scheduled to meet him Saturday, thus providing clear evidence of an agreement. Now, Torres' sister Christina testified she was willing to be a third-party custodian at their grandmother's house in Puerto Rico, valued at $200,000. Likewise, Lopez's girlfriend Giomara Ortiz stated she would act as a third-party custodian at their house in Puerto Rico. Judge Miller denied the prosecution's motion to detain both individuals, granting them release pending several restrictions, including confinement to their homes in Puerto Rico, electronic monitoring, and having their third-party custodians escort them to all court proceedings, just to name a few. Now, both will be released pending a $50,000 secured bond each and ability to meet all restrictions. Sandy?
Governor John Young Jr. has appointed an acting director and acting deputy director of the Division of Environmental Enforcement at the Department of Planning and Natural Resources based on Commissioner Alicia Barnes' recommendations. Howard Forbes, Sr. of St. Croix, is now acting director. Forbes is an environmental officer with 24 years of experience and will oversee the day-to-day operations of the division. DeYoung also appointed Jessica McGrath Paris as the acting assistant director of environmental enforcement. She will be responsible for providing support and assistance to the acting director for operations in the St. Thomas St. John district. Paris has been an environmental enforcement officer for the past 7 years. DeYoung thanked both Forbes and Paris for their willingness to serve in these positions. Meanwhile, VI Police Commissioner Rodney Carrad Sr. commented on the arrest of Roberto Tapia, stating, "It's always a sad day when anyone in law enforcement is either suspected of or charged with violating laws they are sworn to uphold." He also added, "It is our duty to see that such allegations are investigated and where proven are prosecuted," stating they have a zero-tolerance policy for any violations by those in law enforcement. Senator Kenneth Gittens also commented, stating, "While all are presumed innocent until proven guilty, it is quite disheartening to learn of the events that led to the apprehension of an individual entrusted with ensuring the safety of this community." Police were notified of a shooting on May 21st, about 11:30 p.m. on the Tabor and Harmony Road. According to the initial police report, the victim was found in the driver's seat of a gray Toyota Camry. EMTs on the scene were unable to locate any vital signs on the victim, who was then taken by ambulance to the Schneider Regional Medical Center. Forensic crime scene technicians collected several shell casings from the scene. St. John Water Island Police Chief Darren Foy said there is no similarity between this fatal shooting and the murder that was recorded on May 20th. Anyone with information can call detectives at 775-3445, 775-2410, 911, or Crime Stoppers USVI. Well, last week we told you about two senators who are drafting legislation to save the territory money while generating more revenues. Senator Alicia Hansens has also suggested several ideas she has to bring more money into the territory. Some of those ideas include establishing a departure tax at VIC ports, directing Governor DeYoung to use the $5 million EPA penalty Hovenza paid to the territory, returning customs duties collections to the VI, establishing a tax on money transfers to foreign countries, and establishing a luxury sales tax on high-priced homes, jewelry, and cars. Chief Judge Curtis Gomez says too often we focus on young men when it comes to judicial system and crime. So he personally delivered a message to young women on Wednesday at the Charlotte Amalie High School, and the best way, he says, to hear from was from someone who has been there. In 2009, a Customs and Border Protection canine unit sniffed 22-year-old Anna Sproul's legs. A search revealed packets of heroin taped to each of her legs and 4 packets in her backpack. About 1.4 pounds with an estimated street value of $44,000 was confiscated. Anna was arrested.
Probably could have been ways that I could have avoided a lot, but I don't regret it because it made me a stronger person, helped me make better decisions, and all our choices do have consequences. Even at the time it don't seem as it will, it do. And I just want to let you all know that giving up your freedom is not worth it at all.
Anna shared her story with a group of young women at the Charlotte Amalie High School, efforts of VI District Court's Chief Judge Curtis Gomez.
There's this thought that when people make mistakes, that they are irredeemable. That is, you have no salvation. There's no way that you can get out of the hole. If that were the case, Ms. Sproul wouldn't be here. She wouldn't be employed, she wouldn't be a contributing member of her community, and she wouldn't be someone who wants to share her experiences.
Sharing is caring, and caring is sharing. And we know women are powerful, and we want them to make it. So Anna decided she will come to share with the students, with the girls, that it isn't everyone you call your friend is your friend.
It was great because we learned to always have self-ambition, to always be self-motivated, and to always grow from mistakes, even though sometimes they may get the best of us. So
what it taught me today was that making decisions, you have to think about what you do and how it's going to affect you in the future. Don't just think about like instant gratification. You have to think about the consequences.
Judge Gomez says too often we focus on young men when it comes to the judicial system and crime. So he wanted to personally deliver a message.
The presentation today was excellent, by the way. I think every school in the territory needs to hear the information given, and I think the most that students or young ladies today got out of it was the fact that you need to respect yourself, because in order to be respected, you have to respect yourself. So, you know, not many girls grow up with the same morals and values that some students, young ladies, may grow up with, like I've been. So I think it's good that we have people in the community to come out and, you know, tell these young ladies, you know, you are beautiful, you're wonderful, respect yourself.
What's the update on the milk situation? Due to the recent closure of St. Thomas Dairies, as of May 8th, the St. Thomas St. John District has received 1 container, which is 48,000 servings of milk to date, and 2 more containers are expected by May 25th. The St. Croix District has received 3 containers, which is 42,000 servings. The department is expected to receive a total of 6 containers of milk, each containing 2,640 cases of milk. The milk is expected to last throughout the remainder of the school year and summer programs. Acting Education Commissioner Donna Fred Gregory said the department is currently finalizing arrangements for the 2013-2014 school year's supplier. Well, it's been 12 days since the IRS scandal broke, and today lawmakers are hoping to get answers from the woman in charge of the agents at the center of the probe. Danielle Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
The IRS official who first apologized for her agency targeting conservative groups is not answering questions about it.
I've decided to follow my counsel's advice and not testify or answer any of the questions today.
Lois Lerner invoked her Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate herself. She heads the IRS unit that decides who qualifies for tax-exempt status and read a brief statement before she was dismissed.
I have not done anything wrong.
In a letter to Congress, a learner's attorney said she would not be testifying because of the FBI investigation.
She waived her right to Fifth Amendment privilege by issuing an opening statement. She ought to stand here and answer our questions.
Lawmakers are outraged a learner found out agents were using inappropriate criteria to single out Tea Party groups back in 2011, but apparently did not inform her superiors and was not upfront with Congress.
Of course, I am disappointed that we will not be able to ask her questions today. I believe that she could shed much light on what we are trying to find, the truth.
Today, the number 2 at the Treasury worked to distance his department from scandal.
There is no indication that Treasury was involved in the improper conduct at the IRS.
Neil Woolen learned about the investigation from the Inspector General during the 2012 election. He said he told him to follow the facts and that it was Treasury's job to stay out of the way. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the Federal Reserve took stocks on a roller coaster ride. The market initially rallied after Fed Chief Ben Bernanke told Congress it's too soon to pull back its stimulus programs, but stocks reversed course after minutes from the last Fed meeting. Who are the most powerful women in the world? Forbes released its top 100 list today. Topping the list, German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Other ladies you might recognize, First Lady Michelle Obama moved up to number 4, and media mogul Oprah Winfrey came in at number 13. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything down. The Dow 80, NASDAQ 38, S&P 13. Coming up on News 2, so you think you can cook? How about in a coal pot? Well, there are some VI chefs who say they have what it takes and competed. We'll give you a taste of those highlights coming up next. Plus,
the latest on the search and rescue effort after that devastating tornado.
the American Cancer Society is celebrating a birthday. May 22nd is American Cancer Society Day in the Virgin Islands. The national organization is celebrating 100 years of existence during 2013, and St. Croix chapter is commemorating 25 years. The St. Thomas chapter was formed 24 years ago. The local chapters offer free mammograms and other tests to men and women, provide medical supplies and equipment, donate travel assistance and data from the VI Bureau of Vital Statistics, indicating that the leading cause of death for women in the Virgin Islands are breast and cervical cancers. For men, the leading cause of death is prostate cancer. Fort Christian parking lot was bustling with activity Wednesday as 7 VI chefs faced off to vie for the title of Best Coal Pot Chef. The free event took place from noon until 4 p.m. where the public judged each chef's cooking skills. The chef with the most donations at the end of the day was declared victorious. The idea came from an intern with the Historical Trust and will now be held annually. Marissa Olive was one of the chefs who prepared her specialty of red bean soup, which she said took 2 hours to cook on the coal pot.
It's a historical event where they want to, I guess, reminisce on the coal pot. You know, when long ago they used to actually cook on the coal pot. So we are here today demonstrating the coal pot, the use of the coal pot.
And winning the 2013 first annual bragging rights for Best Coal Pot Chef is Chef Ezzy with his callaloo. Now the public voted by placing donations in the chef's votes jar. Chef Ezzy had the most donations at the end of the day. Congratulations to him. Well, 2 days after a monster tornado tore through town, residents are returning to their neighborhoods to assess the damage and clean up. Edward Lawrence is in Moore, Oklahoma with the latest details.
The search for bodies and survivors is nearly complete.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Officials say they've checked every home at least once, but they plan to double and triple check to make sure no one goes unfound. Still, authorities don't expect to find any more casualties. At least 24 people died from the tornado, including 9 children. Most of the youngest victims died at Plaza Towers Elementary School.
It's been replaying and replaying in my head.
Teacher Jennifer Doan lost 7 of her 3rd grade students when a wall collapsed on them. She used her own body to shield the children closest to her.
I had my arms around 2 of them.
Janae Hornsby was in Doan's classroom when the tornado hit. On Tuesday, her family got a call from the medical examiner confirming their worst fear.
It's like taking a piece out of my heart and just like stomping on it.
Walking through the debris, it's hard to imagine how anyone could have survived the tornado. Rubble and mangled cars are now scattered where neighborhoods once stood.
One minute, I'm fine and it's like everything's fine. And then the next minute it's like, you just want to cry when you realize all the memories.
Linda Myers tried to put her loss into perspective while she stared at a lifetime of possessions now gone.
But then, the poor people that lost their lives, that's what my heart really goes out to. I have no problems, compared to theirs. So
it's a feeling many here share this morning. Bigatchaban, CBS News, Moore, Oklahoma.
Stick around. Your News 2 Aki weather forecast is coming up next.